Hi, my name is Dr. Rayshawn Ray, aiming to speak truth to power, and this is my daily thought. The day after Christmas, we all need to dock our change. That's dock your change. That's something I've been talking about for the past several months. And in this context, what I mean by that is if your family is like my family, we live a very privileged life. And part of that means that our children get tons of stuff for Christmas and for the holidays. And it's great and it's exciting. But in the grand scheme of things, this is stuff that they don't readily need oftentimes. It might be things they want, and oftentimes in other cases it's things that they don't even want. They just get tons of stuff. And on one hand, people are like, well, your kids deserve those things. You and your wife have worked hard and all that. Well, yeah, that's true, but this is that's beside the point of us working hard, because this is the thing. There are tons of people who work hard every single day who don't end up getting ahead, who deal with ageism at work, where they've gotten too old and their company is downsized or outsourced jobs and they lost their job, or they deal with with classism, where they're working 2 or 3 jobs and they don't have insurance, and they can't even make a decent living. They're not even able to get outside of poverty. And then of course people deal with other isms, whether it be racism or sexism or homophobia on the job and in everyday life. And so these sort of things play out, and on Christmas, what we actually have to do and think about is the fact that there are children and families who didn't get anything for Christmas. They can't even pay their bills. They're setting up trying to figure out how they're going to keep the lights on, or how they're going to try to keep the heat and the hot water running in 20-degree weather. Or, if you're in the South right now, how you could potentially turn the air on in 80-degree weather on Christmas, which climate change is a problem. I'm telling you, I'm sitting outside with shorts and t-shirt on, just went for a run, got my 30-minute Monday in, trying to engage in and trying to be fit for justice. And so when we think about, but climate change is beside the point. The point of what I'm trying to make here is dock your change by, on the day after Christmas, if your kids are like my kids, and they receive so many toys and gifts that they don't even know what to do with them. First, for everything that my kids got, they're going to give something away. So they're going to have to go in their toy room, and they're going to have to take a toy for every toy that they got. And this can't be broken toy. We don't want to give away broken toys. We want to give away good toys. My wife does the same thing with their clothes. For every article of clothing they get or we get, we give something away the same way. And we've been doing that for years. But what you do with those toys, what you do with those clothes, is you find a family after Christmas, or you identify kids after Christmas who didn't get anything for Christmas, or who really didn't hardly get anything, might have got one thing. Or you identify a family that's trying to make ends meet. And you can identify these people because if your life, in many respects, is in somewhat like our lives, unfortunately, oftentimes we can become detached from being around people in poverty. And I think probably for my kids more so than us, which is something why we really try to do these sorts of things. But but part of what that means is that you can identify people through teachers. Teachers can normally always identify people or kids whose families might be struggling financially. Churches, places where you worship, as well as GoFundMe pages. And this becomes something specific. Yes, you can give to people who live somewhere far away. You can definitely do that. And yes, you can adopt a child and give toys on a list of people who you'll probably never meet. But there are people who you probably see every single day who smile in your face, who act as if everything is all put together. The way I grew up, we were like that growing up. My mom always put on a good face, struggling to pay bills, showing me her checkbook, showing me you don't want to be in the red, right? And we know this just from empirical research. Speaking of living in the red, Dr. Dalton Conley's book, Being Black, Living in the Red, or Black Wealth, White Wealth, or any sort of the disparities we see when we look at the census or the general the number of people who are living in poverty and the increase in that in rural America, in urban America. And so part of that is you can identify people where you are So what I challenge you to do is to dock your change by identifying a child or a family that's in need. And you giving toys, you giving clothes, you giving money, and doing that the day after Christmas. Because when we think about Christmas, and this is what I was thinking about on my 30-minute run this morning, Christmas isn't about, holidays aren't about getting all this stuff. You know what I mean? It actually bothers me. And part of it is that, I mean, I got things growing up. I mean, my mother worked very hard. I mean, my grandparents, my aunt, I mean, my godfather, I mean, my big brother and big brothers and big sisters. I mean, other family members and friends. I mean, I was very blessed growing up. But my kids live a very different life from what I live. Very different life. I mean, Christmas was a big deal. Christmas is a really big deal to them. I mean, if you've seen, my social media page, it's a big deal to them. They're just excited about Santa, though. That's the thing about kids. They don't need a whole bunch of stuff. They're just excited. And the biggest thing they're excited about is being around family. But part of what I mean is Christmas was a big deal because I actually got stuff that I normally couldn't necessarily get. Whereas for my kids, they get stuff year round. But there are families and there are people who actually, and kids who actually don't get those sort of things. So this holiday season, the day after Christmas and every year, I challenge you to dock your change by identifying someone or some family that's in need and really celebrating what Christmas and the holidays really mean, which is going to give something to someone else and not just giving it to people who could already get it themselves. Because in many respects, with some of my friends and families, we're just exchanging money. I mean, to be real about it, and part of it is the thought. And we really appreciate, for me, when I think about it like this, the thought that someone took the time to think about it, and I appreciate it for the thought. But there are a lot of people who can think it, but they are so bogged down with thinking about paying bills and trying to make ends meet and raising kids and raising grandkids and raising adopted kids and raising fictive kin that they can't even process Christmas and enjoy it. And yeah, it's about being around family, and that is the most important thing. And then when we think about the food, oh my gosh, I had to run a day yesterday. I ate so much sweet goodness that it's just great. But there are some families that did not have a meal. And so part of it, while we're enjoying things, we have to reflect on A, how privileged we are, how blessed we are, but B, that other people have worked just as hard as us and are not where we are. And I feel that we have a moral responsibility to share the privileges we've been given with other people. So as always, conversations matter like Black Lives and Books, and I challenge you to dock your change by identifying someone or some family or some kid that needs something the day after Christmas, going to make that happen. So if you could, part of this challenge, this Doc Your Change challenge, the day after Christmas challenge, is post what you did, either what you got them, what you plan to do, write a post, shoot a video, take a picture of what you did, celebrate with the family, do something. And we've seen some of this, like at Best Buy, there was a kid who would come into Best Buy every single day, they said after school, and play video games, because you play free video games when you go to a store, right? And I remember doing this sort of stuff growing up, because there were certain games that we couldn't get, and kids go play, or you can go to an arcade. They don't have these classic arcades like they used to that were really inexpensive. So kids go to stores, and the Best Buy employees decided to come together to put their money together to pay for a video game system for a kid. And what's interesting about that is, working at Best Buy, you're not making a whole lot of money working at Best Buy. So the fact that they took their hard-earned money and gave it to another kid that didn't have something, that's what this is all about. So I challenge you. The challenge is the day after Christmas challenge. Dock your change. Showcase what you're doing. Let's actually celebrate the true meaning of the holidays. And you'll see my kids and my family, in addition to doing things. For us, we like to do a lot of things in silence. Whether that be adopt a kid or give toys or give money. Don't need any accolades for doing those types of things. But I think oftentimes, especially based on how difficult the year has been for people for various reasons, whether it be deaths or just being, just a long drawn out political process, regardless of which side of the aisle you fall on, but particularly the people who feel as though their marginalized identities have been trampled or trumped in some respects. This becomes a way that we can actually celebrate the end of the year. So, Doc, your